There's more where that comes from. But good job. Thank you. Thank you.
By her gifts hast thou earned a moment's reprieve. Speak, mortal, and I shall listen.
It's a god dragon.
Guided by a star. My people have heard the song. Ishgard shall burn. Sons must answer for their father's misdeeds. We do not forget. We do not forgive. 7 children did I sire. One now singeth of retribution. I rise to join in the chorus. Thou art powerless to silence us, mortal. Yet thou shalt not live to labor in vain. Thy reprieve is at an end.
What do you mean?
Trickery is thy shield. This frail, ignoble creature is not gifted, but chosen. Hearken to me, Hydaelyn. I remember, and I consent.
Alright, good night, Meadow.
Fear not, mortal. I shall not harm thee.
What the fuck? What did he do to me? It just darkened? What the hell happened?
Mayhap thou thinkest me an oath breaker. Thou art mistaken. If thou comest to harm, it shall be by another's hand, not mine. I did but strip thee of thy mistress's feeble blessing. Thou didst profit much by her grace, but no more. shall watch, listen, and wait. Fight and struggle, if it be thy will. Man hath ever coveted that which lieth beyond his grasp. I drink of her body, and thence doth mine own find new life. When it hath grown whole, the loyal and penitent shall rejoice. The dragon song heraldeth a beginning and an end.
Why aren't you a creepy bitch? You may summon Midgard Swimmer by selecting the corresponding entry within the minion guide character in the Okay, I get Midgard Swimmer minion. Sick. Okay. I was beginning to fear the worst. Those explosions I saw? But you shouldn't waste time talking with me. Alphino left a message stating that you were to return to the Rising Stones at once. Explains why everybody's got a dragon in this area. Now, so about the dragon. Kind of with me now. Praise the Tove that you were hale and whole. It came as soon as Menphilia informed me of Sir Amaric's request. You have completed your investigation of the Keeper of the Lake, I take it? Then I would hear your report. Write the report. You converse with Midgard Swarmer? I swear, were anyone else to make such a claim, I would regard it with considerable skepticism. Are we to understand that the Worm Lord did not perish and has in sooth lain dormant these past 15 years? Less a resurrection and more rejuvenation for he who dwelleth in eternity, years passing as... Though his words were ambiguous at times, one statement left little room for interpretation. My people have heard the song, Ishgard shall burn. Clearly an attack is imminent. We must share this information with Sir Amaric immediately. However, we dare not divulge your conversation with Midgard Swimmer in its entirety. To even acknowledge that you heard the voice of a Dravanian is a grave but necessary risk. Lest we forget, men have been executed as heretics for declaring as much. For your own protection and for the sake of our tenuous relationship with Ishgard, the truth cannot leave this room. As for how we shall present our revelation to Sir Amaric's emissary, you may leave that to me. Pray remain here for now. Is there something you are not telling us, Cyrus? Yeah. You seem different somehow. It's almost as if you're missing something. Something important. You kind of, debuff me. Puff or Fend, Midgard Swimmer stripped you of the blessing of the light? Are you alright? How do you feel? I see. It is a relief to hear that you are otherwise unharmed. It beggars belief that any being could possess the power to deprive you of her blessing. Midgard Swarmer made mention of a covenant, did he not? One of the ancient myths regarding Silvertear Falls states that when the waters came into existence, so too did the Great Worm. Althic and Nimia, brother Time and sister Fate, decreed that Midgardsormr ever watch over the source from which all water and magic was said to flow. I wonder, what if this was the covenant to which he spoke, and 'twas not the gods with whom he treated, but Hydaelyn herself? Well, if he was watching over you as he claimed, mayhap you will have an opportunity to ask. Let us keep this matter to ourselves. I do not wish to burden our friends needlessly. Well, there's his bitch ass. Thou a pawn or master of thy fate? What hast thou wrought by thine own hands, mortal? I'll rot your goddamn neck if you keep talking like that.
My friend, I can scarce believe it. You confronted the Wormlord and lived to tell the tale. I give thanks to Helone for your preservation. It is our sole cause for gladness. Your encounter with the Keeper of the Lake served to confirm our fears. A great worm has roared, and it makes little difference if it was one of the two in Eorzea or any other. The Dravanians are coming.
I am told that Ishgard has magical defenses against Dravanian attack, though I am not privy to their exact nature. Will they be enough to repel a massive force?
Ishgard has weathered countless assaults over centuries. This will be no different. And now that you have confirmed the threat, none can ignore the Lord Commander's calls for the wards to be strengthened. I dare not presume to speak for him, but I expect the Lord Commander would sing your praises. I must away, but we shall meet again soon.
Countless assaults weathered, and this will be no different? Why am I not convinced?
The Ishgardians have warred with the Dravanians for centuries, nay, nearly 1,000 years. In all that time, not once have their enemies breached their defenses and entered the city proper. Yet regardless of how strong these magical wards may be, I nevertheless fear that the Ishgardians are underestimating the gravity of the situation. Though it was not Midgardsormr who roared, auto arms by one of the first brood cannot be ignored. Till such time as they choose to request our aid, however, we can do naught but observe the situation. Pray that our fears are unfounded. Pray indeed. Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. Ow, wow. Ere I forget, I believe Minbrita has requested a gathering of the Scions. I assume there has been some progress concerning our efforts to combat the Ascians. Pray inform her that our business with the Ishgardians is concluded for the moment. I shall be along once I've completed my communications with the Chrysalis. Over here. All done with your talk of dragons? Wonderful, because Ascians are next on the menu. Let's head into the solar, shall we? Alright.
Now that everything's calmed down a bit, relatively speaking I mean, I thought it might be a good time to share our progress on the weapon. I believe we're on the verge of a breakthrough.
Well, don't keep us all in suspense.
Just in case anyone's forgotten, let's start by reviewing what we already know. So, an Ascian is an immortal because its soul doesn't return to the ethereal realm when its host is defeated. Instead, it flees to the place that lies between our world and the void. Therefore, the first step to permanently defeating an Ascian is preventing its soul from making this journey. And if you recall, when we last gathered here, I had verified that white auracite has adequate capacity to entrap the beings, albeit only briefly.
Which left the small matter of their extermination.
Aye. To unmake an Ascian soul, one must needs smite it with a concentrated burst, or blade, of purest ether. However, we wanted for both the data and the means to forge such a weapon.
Short of experimenting on an actual Ascian, you see, there's no way to gauge how much ether its soul is made of. As such, we don't know what etheric density our blade needs to have in order for it to work.
So we'll just have to make the densest blade we can and hope for the best. Though that would require a lot of ether. Hang on a minute. Why didn't we think of this before? White auracite can hold an absolute heap of ether, can't it?
Please tell me you're joking. God's sakes, Ida. I feel as though I'm reliving the same scene over and over with you. How many times do you need to be told that white auracite cannot store ether for long periods? Being intangible matter, ether is given to dispersion. Only in its crystallized form is it a stable source of energy. I will test you later on this, so see to it you do not forget.
Right, yes. It's all coming back to me.
So our hopes rest on good old crystals again, do they? While they are certainly reliable, they leave something to be desired in the area of portability.
Indeed. I am reminded of the quantity of corrupted crystals required to thwart Leviathan, and the extraordinary lengths to which the Lamentsons went to transport them. What if it should prove that a similar quantity was needed to destroy an Ascian's soul? Or still more?
I do not envy the poor sod who has to lug all of that around, on the off chance that an Ascian appears.
That's the very problem we set out to solve, and I reckon we've found the answer. If it isn't practical to lug around the ether we need, we'll just have to draw upon another source. And the only viable source is the land.
If you mean to tap the Great River of Ether, know that it will entail considerable risk. Meddling with the currents may well induce a surge like to the one which despoiled Mordona.
Give me a bit more credit, will you? Why would we need to tap the river when there are veritable reservoirs jutting out all over the land? I speak of corrupted crystals. It might be that their aspect is out of balance, but a crystal's a crystal. It contains ether, and we can help ourselves to it.
While corrupted crystals are indeed abundant, there is no guarantee that they will be in close proximity at a crucial moment.
But what if we don't need them to be? What if we could tap their power from afar? A malm away, say? If we could do that, we'd have ready access to ether aplenty in almost every corner of Eorzea. I've yet to put my theories to the proof, but I've got a good feeling about this. If no one has any objections, I'd like to see where this avenue leads.
If you think it worth your while, you have my blessing. But tell us, what are your theories? I, for one, am most eager to understand the process, however vaguely.
I thought you might say that, but no one wants to listen to boring old theories all day, do they? I know I don't. So with your permission, I'd like to try something a bit more hands-on. I've already built an etheric siphon especially for this purpose, and I've been meaning to try it out. Thing is, the profusion of corrupted crystals in Mordona makes it something of a high-risk testing ground. If anything goes awry with the siphon, it would be better if it didn't happen within spitting distance of quite so much ether. Ideally, I need an isolated specimen. Does anyone know where I can find one?
That's quite a lot.
May I suggest northern Thanalan? There you will find corrupted crystals of middling size, standing a reasonable distance apart. Ideal for your needs, I should have thought. Oh, and if you do elect to visit the place, I should be much obliged if you would assist me in another matter while you are in the area.
Has something happened?
Movement has been observed at Castrum Meridianum. During Operation Archon, the Alliance dealt the stronghold a heavy blow. Its facilities were extensively damaged, and its garrison reduced to a fraction of its former strength. Not long after our forces withdrew, however, their ranks were replenished by reinforcements from Castrum's sentry. They now seek to rebuild, and to this end they have their sights set upon the ceruleum processing plant. Having lost the Empire's support, the 14th Legion lacks the resources to sustain itself. To them, this is a bid for survival, and they will doubtless fight like desperate men. Though I have dispatched the Crystal Braves, I fear their strength alone may not suffice to stay the Imperial assault. I would request the Scion's aid in the defensive effort.
If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to inveigle us into fighting your battle with the promise of shiny crystals. Well then, consider me inveigled. I won't lie, the crystals you speak of sound perfect, so the Garleans have to go. Besides, we can't afford to beat about the bush. There's no telling when the Arceans will next appear.
Thine eagerness to hurl thyself into the jaws of danger cometh as little surprise. Exercise due caution, I prithee.
Though you have become a crystal brave, you are yet a scion, Alphino. We could hardly refuse you. Pray, join the Crystal Braves and lend them your support. Thangred and Papalymo shall accompany you. Ida and Yashtola, in the meantime I would have you assist Moonbreeder. Scout out the crystal clusters, that the testing may commence as soon as the Garlean threat has been eliminated.
If it please you, I shall continue mine own experiments on white orosite.
Thank you, Urianger. Everyone, pray see to your preparations and depart as soon as you are able.
Okay, guess we're heading to Thanalan. Equal out. Wow. It would seem that events have once more conspired to rob us of rest and recuperation. So I would wish it otherwise. I must ask that you head straight away to the processing plant. The fourth have already deployed to the area and await the arrival of the Scions. Wilred will brief you on the developing situation. Meanwhile, I must rendezvous with Captain Ilbrid at our headquarters in Ul'dah. I shall take command of our forces there with a lighter heart, knowing that you go to support the front lines. Yep, I got you, don't worry. Your duties take you to Northern Thanalan, do they not? We too must say our farewells to the Rising Stones for a time. Solomon travels to Ul'dah and we shall escort her escort. At my daughter's behest, I go to contact certain old acquaintances in the Gilded City. We are beset on all sides by civil unrest and imperial machinations. Threatened by primals and troubled by dragons. We need all the allies we can muster. Many of my friends hold positions of power, you see, and it is my hope that they can be convinced to aid the Scion's cause. If past events have taught us anything, then we know that Eorzea must present a united front or we shall fall. How extraordinary that my little Asilia is involved in such far-reaching affairs. I am proud that I might now stand at her side not only as a mother, but also as a colleague. A colleague with influential connections, but I fear that Ul'dah has become a place of danger even for one so familiar with her streets. Bah, woe betide the blackguard that so much as glares in your direction, my lady. Yeah, yeah. I shall be well protected, it seems. Shall we be on our way then? Oh, hope she gets there all right. This one. The ultimate battle. Oh yeah, let's do that. Huh? Commander Leveilleur sent word that you'd be coming. A veteran of our talents as most. Not that I don't think we can handle the situation, mind you. I've learned a trick or two since that disaster with the Amalja. Returning to the task at hand. The Flames reconnaissance scouts have reported Imperial soldiers assembling at Raubon's push. Such a force is likely interested in only one thing, getting their hands on the resources found here at the processing plant. The Guardians could begin marching on us at any time. Pray speak with Lieutenant Edelstein that we might coordinate our counter strategy. In the meantime, I will inform the others that you have arrived. No doubt it will be welcome tidings. Damn, he's really come a long way, huh? Private Serene, my soldiers yet tell tales of your deeds during Operation Archon. Or that we could sit a while and reminisce about old times, but I fear more pressing matters require our attention. The civilian draughtsmen, you see, have come across several highly suspicious crates within the boundaries of the processing plant. I had my sappers take a closer look, and our worst fears were confirmed. These boxes contain powerful explosive devices of Imperial design no less. By my order, the Flame Station here are conducting a thorough sweep of the compound as we speak. Though it troubles me that we were unable to apprehend the Imperial spy behind this, I have faith that our men will be able to neutralize the threat for now. In the meantime, our scouts bring troubling news on the latest movements of the Imperial army. I would once again ask for your aid. Yep, I'm here to help. We've been keeping a close eye on the Guardian garrison, and it would seem the Imperials have finally begun to mobilize. According to the reconnaissance report that just came in, the squads seen leaving the castrum are too few in number to effectively take and hold our position. They will likely mount a swift assault and focus on the acquisition of resources. I have, of course, also shared this report with the Crystal Braves. They've decided to take to the field and meet this assault head on. I have praised your fellow Scions of the situation, and am heartened to know that they will be joining the effort. Pray report to Lieutenant Alien, and lend your much welcome strength to the counteroffensive. Alright, we gonna make sure that none of them get through. Glad to have you with us, sirs. As I'm sure Lieutenant Edelstein has explained, the Guardians have deployed a small force from Castrum Meridianum. Their main column assembles to the north near Dalamud's Talons, but we've also spied several squads attempting to conceal themselves on the approach to the west. They wish you to rush forth and commit to battle with the main column, leaving the detached force free to raid the plant and pillage supplies. Not much of a strategy, but these are desperate men. Captain Ilbert. Greetings, Scion. I understand the commander bid you and your fellows come lend a hand to the Braves? With such mighty heroes at its disposal, the force should have little trouble contending with aught the Guardians might throw at them. But even you cannot be everywhere at once. The third was getting restless holed up in Oda, so I marched them out here to fill any holes in the plan's defenses and add their numbers to your counterattack. The reinforcements are welcome. We have enough soldiers now to divide our own forces and secretly engage the enemy far beyond the walls. Aye, it would be best to avoid staging a battle anywhere near this much cerulean. Let's take this fight to the Garleans. A wise course indeed. I shudder to think of the consequences should any of these storage tanks be exposed to fire. If there are no objections, the Scions shall join the 4th and give battle to this main column. You're with the 3rd, then, Warrior Light. Your job will be to intercept these squads hiding out in the west and prevent them from reaching the processing plant. When you're ready to proceed, report to Lieutenant Yuyuhase. His scouts should have a rough idea of where the Imperials have concealed themselves by now. We gon' beat they ass. Keep forgetting. A pleasure to be fighting at your side once more, Scion. Our operations invariably succeed when you're around. Victories are wont to pave the road to greater coin. Now, this detached force we've been sent to eliminate has split into smaller squads. The better to conceal themselves within the terrain hereabouts, I imagine. We'll need to split ourselves up as well to cover more ground, and make sure we root out all these would-be raiders. And seeing as you're an army unto yourself, I've assigned you your own areas to scour clean of enemy soldiers. Aye, this will be a simple search and destroy. We'll rendezvous back here when the task is done. Happy hunting, Scion. Oh boy. I won't let even one of them escape. Oh, I killed him. Fuck you. Hope I took them out. You seem grim, Scion. I'll take that to mean that between us, more than a few Guardians won't be making it back to the castrum. These Imperials, though, they certainly made us earn our pay. I would be a happy man if I never had a tussle with another one of those Magitech horrors. It is time we bid this war-torn land farewell. I will contact the 4th and let Lieutenant Elian know the west is now clear. I would appreciate it if you would do the same when you report to Lieutenant Edelstein. Weren't a match for me, not at all, no siree. Private Serene, what news of the Garleans? They all dead. Their raiding parties are no more then. Excellent. The Amagina engineers will be most relieved to hear that the plant is no longer in any immediate danger. Thank you again for your assistance. No problemo. Must be anxious for word of your fellows. Lieutenant Alien has reported a sound victory over the main column and informs me that the Scions have already turned their attention to other duties. All but one, that is. the Rigadin lady with the large axe. It appears she has chosen to remain at the site of the battle. I know not what tasks keep her from returning to civilization, but Northern Thanalan is no place to wander alone. Even for a capable sort such as her, I would certainly feel better about things if you could check on her before you continue on your way. She's checking for the crystals, right?
Hold on, I won't be a second. The beast seemed peckish, so I gave it a taste of my axe. I know. As Urianger never tires of reminding me, an axe ill becometh the hand of a scholar. What can I say? I like axes. To hear my mother tell it, I came into this world holding one. And it's not as if it stopped me picking up a quill, is it? I often think of the man who introduced me to the joys of learning. He's one of the reasons I decided to come to Eorzea. Him and my excruciatingly stiff childhood friend. Considering how unalike we are, it's a wonder we ever got on. The world's a strange old place, isn't it? Aye, that ought to do it. So far, so good. At these concentrations, it shouldn't matter too much if something goes awry. Just enough ether to make it interesting. Did you see that? The way the crystal glowed? The siphon works, I'm happy to say. With a few refinements, it should satisfy our appetite for ether, which just leaves the small matter of forging our blade. I'm not sure how to go about it just yet, but I swear to find a way. I'll put a blade in your hands if it's the last thing I do.
She senses me. A useful talent.
What's this bitch has?
An Ascian. Are they onto us?
By your brand, I see you are an Archon of Sharlayan. Keeper of knowledge. Seeker of truth. Meddler.
I don't know what the hell's you're saying, but I don't much like your tone.
Your instincts serve you well. But come, be not unsettled on my account. That lovely brow was not made for frowns. But I waste my breath. Let me direct my words to one who understands them. We meet at last, warrior of light. I am Nabriales. And you have long been a thorn in my side. I suffered the overweening presence of La Habrea that men might host the power of gods, only for you to undo my hard work.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Bugger.
Do settle down. You must concede that I acted in self-defense. But what's this? I do not sense the blessing of light.
Oh no.
Oh dear. Could it be that frail Hydelin has forgotten her champion? This I did not foresee. Shorn of light as you are no longer a threat. And better yet, the seal is broken. Now is the time to claim the staff. With it in my grasp, I shall rise above them all and take my place at Lord Zodiac's right hand.
What did that bastard want with us? Nabriales, he calls himself. With charm like that, I'll bet he has maidens falling at his feet. Unconscious. But this staff, You say just talking about it had the bastard grinning like a brat on his name day. Must be quite a staff.
Is it the broken one?
Oh, gods. He means Tupsimati, Master Louis Soir's staff. Minfilia's in danger. We have to get back to the Rising Stones.
I'll tell about there as fast as I can. Look at that guy. Look at him. So creepy. Minfilia. You're here. Master Louis Soir's staff is kept in the cellar, isn't it? Quickly now. Gone already.
You two.
So, you were able to divine my intent. What now, warrior of light? Ah, but that name is no longer fitting. You have become decidedly dull, and quite incapable of barring my entry.
What do you mean?
You truly do not know? Then I suppose it is only right that I enlighten you. The blessing of light kept you and your fellow meddlers safe. It was that which prevented my kind from entering your domain. My kind, I say, though it had no power over the likes of Elidibus and La Habrea. Being of this world, they could come and go as they please, while I could only look on. But I need look no longer. Now that the seal is gone, I mean to act. Unlike the others, I am not given to waiting. I shall take that staff and bring about the next rejoining.
Rejoining? Then it was your doing. The Isle of Val, the scholars, all of it.
You will not harm her!
What?
Moonbreeder!
Why must you insist on forcing my hand? Did you learn nothing from our last meeting? Ah, but I forget. My words fall upon deaf ears.
The staff is but a broken relic, a memorial to the departed. What possible use could you have for it?
What use? You mean to say that all this time you kept the key, never knowing what it was you possessed? The staff Tupsimati, or rather the stone tablet it bears, is host to a great power. Together with the horn, it can be used to draw vast quantities of ether from its bearer's surroundings. How else do you think Louis Soir was able to invoke the power of the 12 without making them an offering of crystals? Summoning requires not only prayer, but a profusion of ether. Even a child knows that.
If I did not know before, you may be certain I do now. But above all, I know that we cannot allow this staff to fall into your hands. I will die before I let you take it.
Insufferable woman. I would happily end your miserable life here and now. Alas, Elidibus would never let me hear the end of it. Very well. If you will not part with the staff, I will take you too.
Answer them! Quickly! Before the rift closes!
Oh man. The Chrysalis now accessible. It's a... There you go. Beast tribes. I have... Ooh. Ethereal Rift the Chrysalis. Okay, I'm not talking. Okay. Go damn slow. Oh god. What do I even do? What the fuck? I got stuck. Okay. There we go. Down to log time. Oh. Hello. I was created to. I think I have to fix that. I think the what's it called? The command isn't working. I'm by myself.
You're safe.
You viewing your stream on PC?
Thank the 12.
What do you mean? Oh, okay. Yeah. Following since February 7th, 2020. It's a long time.
Remember, light no longer holds sway here. I may return whensoever I wish, again and again and again. Eventually, you will falter, and the staff will be mine. Until next time, scions.
Yeah, I think follow age is for whatever reason like tied to 2 commands. I have to change that.
There will be no next time.
Thank you for the bits.
This is the end.
He got sucked.
What trickery is this?
You ever play Apex? I have. I didn't really like it. I'm not really much of a battle royale player, I'll be honest.
No, no, cannot, no.
He got sucked. He got sucked into the crystal.
Use Tube Samati to gather ether. Quickly, before he breaks free.
Did I follow your playing Calamity? Right? Yeah, I remember that. I haven't played it in a while.
Concentrate. Call to mind the time you struck down La Habrea with the Blade of Light. Why won't it work? Is it because we lack the blessing of light?
Finally got a PC? Hell yeah, congrats.
Damn it. So much ether. And it still isn't enough.
Fools! No mortal prison can contain me. I shall make you pay for your insolence.
I mean, still better than nothing. At least you can play Terraria on it.
Please, Mother Heidelin, hearken to our plea. Lend us your divine light. Why can you not hear us? Do our words no longer reach you?
If only we had a bit more ether.
Really?
Moonbreeder, what are you doing?
Master Louis Soir, I understand now. The choice you made in death. There is life. Farewell, Urianger. You damned old coot.
Moonbreeder, no! You mustn't!
What? No! It cannot end! I am eternal! I am immortal!
Moonbreeder. She's gone. You did it, my friend. The Ascian is dead.
Goddamn, she really died?
This device is a legacy of Moonbreeder's toils and sacrifice. I shall hold on to it for safekeeping.
Minfilia,
I am.
Oh, we were surveying northern Thanalan when we received the distress call. We returned as swiftly as we were able.
It seems you have everything in hand, however.
What happened here? Where is Moonbreeder?
She gave her life to temper the Blade of Light. I have no words.
Rather than await the inevitable, she took her fate into her own hands.
Does Ariange know?
Oh no.
My friend, there is something I must tell you.
I heard all, my lady. The moon sinketh, taking her leave of the heavens. Yet her passing heraldeth the coming of a new day. Moonbreeder hath fulfilled her destiny, hath she not? Long ago, far across the seas in the Charlayan motherland, Moonbreeder and I did study under the sage tutelage of Master Louisoix. Full oft did he impress upon us that knowledge existeth to serve the greater good. This sentiment, however, was contrary to the nation's policy of neutrality, which censured intercedence in the affairs of foreign lands. In spite of vehement opposition, he founded the Circle of Knowing, and journeyed hitherto the heart of Eorzea. Through his noble sacrifice was the realm spared its doom. Yet this great soul, whom all should rightly have honored, was branded a pariah in his own land. His peers did accuse him of forsaking his duty as a man of learning, and of meddling in the course of history. When he left Charlayan behind, Master Louisoix gave no word to signal his intent to Moonbreeder. Close as they were, as master and disciple, she was deeply wounded by the sudden exclusion from his confidence. Above all, however, she was confused. Try as she might, she could ill comprehend her master's motive. The slanders that were heaped upon him after his passing served only to inflame the turmoil within her.
I might one day, but this game has got me hooked ever since I started playing it. So we'll see. Maybe once the mods are able to be actually used in 1.4, might play again.
For years upon end, she knew not what to believe. Torn as she was twixt the man whom she revered and the man who forsook her and his duty both.
The Louisoix I knew would never forsake his duty, much less one of his own.
This I know full well, my lady. 'Twas not for want of love that Master Louisoix hid his intent. He but desired that Moonbreeder discover her own path, free of the shadow of his influence. Long did I contemplate revealing the truth to her, and long did I hold my peace. After all, was it not Master Louisoix's wish that she come to the truth unaided? I told myself it was, and resolved to let her suffer. Knowingly did I deny my friend the comfort she craved. And now she hath gone to her rest, with doubt still in her heart. Speakest thou in earnest? Did Moonbreeder truly come to understand Master Louisoix's will before the end? The realization hath set her free. She may now find the peace which hath for so long eluded her. Oh, Moonbreeder, my dearest, how I shall miss thee.
Moonbreeder gave her life that we might possess the means to defeat the Ascians. Her sacrifice must not be in vain. Let us continue her work on the Blade of Ether and see it to completion.
My lady, I would mourn Moonbreeder in mine own way. I beg your permission to return to the Waking Sands.
Of course, my friend. Take all the time you require. We shall be here should you have need of us.
God damn, she's gone just like that. Never have I seen Urianger so utterly defeated. No one should be made to suffer such grief. We shall gather in the Charlean Manor to celebrate Moonbreeda's life, mourn her passing.